It's time for Grizz Beat, a full-court press of highlights, insights, and debate around the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Tune in each week on the latest conversations with regional and national insiders locked in on the Grizzlies. Running point from Grind City Media Studios, our host, Jason Smith.
Welcome to Grizz Beat. I am your host, Jason Smith of 92.9 FM ESPN, and here we are, opening night for the Memphis Grizzlies in their 25th season in Memphis. That's something to celebrate. I'll tell you something else to celebrate. Ja Morant's going to be on the floor. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be on the floor tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. We are here, as we will be every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Make sure you've got your notifications set, all the intel, the interviews, and the insight with a fantastic panel like we've done every week. Before we get to tonight's opener versus the New Orleans Pelicans and our topics this week, let's introduce that fantastic panel. To my left is Memphis Sports Hall of Famer and legendary former WMC TV Channel 5 sports director Jarvis Greer. Jarvis, you were joined last night in the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame by our former Grizzly, the Grindfather, Tony Allen. He's a colleague now.
The Grindfather inducted last night, gave a great speech, told everyone how humbled he was for being inducted. You know, he's got his number in the rafters now, and he told about, coming to Memphis when he was in Boston, said his agent said, hey, okay, you're going to Memphis. He said, I ain't going to Memphis. Why am I going to Memphis? Well, you got the third year on your contract. It's guaranteed. Oh, I'm going to Memphis. I'm heading to pack my bag. And, all these years later, he's in the rafters. What a great story.
Man,
and what a great player.
To be in a Hall of Fame with Tony Allen must be a nice life for Jarvis Greer as well. The man to his left is the man we call the Guru. Michael Wallace, senior editor, contributor, and analyst for Grind City Media. I call him the hardest working man here at Grind City Media. You ready to rock, Michael? I like the shirt.
Hey, thank you, man. And look, get down here tonight, the first 5,000 in the building gets this vintage Grizzlies 25th year commemorative T-shirt. Nice. Man, it's all good. Ja, Jaren, all the great players from the Grizzlies are on this thing. You get yours tonight, but check out Grizz Beat first. And you had it mixed up, brother. Tony Allen is lucky to be in the Hall of Fame with Jarvis Greer. That's what it is. Yes. That's what it is.
No question. I agree. And via Zoom joining us, Stephanie Reddy is back. She joins us as our national NBA contributor, having covered the NBA for 2 decades. Stephanie, welcome back. We're glad you're coming back with the gang.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here. And I'm expecting a package in the mail, Michael Wallace, after I see the T-shirt you're donning today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I waited till this one came out, Steph, so you got me. You called me out. It's coming.
You definitely got one of these.
Yes.
She did it right. Yes. Blast them on air. That's how you do it. That's
off
how you get
off the rip. Off the rip.
Yeah, she's feisty. There's no question about it. We found that out about her. So that's our panel for this week's show. CJ Hurt is back behind the glass, keeping us in line and on time. Now let's get right to it. Right off top, we have got an exclusive interview with Ja Morant from the Guru, Michael Wallace. It's year 7 for Ja. He'll be on the floor tonight. Let's take a listen.
It's Grizzlies shoot around, sit down. We're headed into the season opener, the Grizzlies versus the New Orleans Pelicans right here at FedEx Forum. Michael Wallace joined by a man that doesn't need any introduction. He's the 1 to the 2. He's the 12. Big Memphis Ja Morant. Ja, leadership by example was on display from the very beginning. But for you and Jaren to be, 2 of the first players out here for shoot around today going into this game, what example does that set, and what are you guys trying to do from a leadership standpoint to lead this team this year?
For me, being the leader, I always try to be, early in, getting ready to work. So when guys come in, they already know, what we about to do in practice. It's business day. So me and Jaren being here early, coming in to get, little warm-up shots and stuff before the shoot-around started. It's all just game prep stuff, and just showing them that, it's open for them to come on the court as well.
That business mindset, obviously you said yesterday that let's put the preseason behind. There was a lot of ups and downs, injuries, and all of those kind of things. How do you sort of prepare yourself mentally and physically to go straight in to the season right now, full steam go?
It's definitely tough. Obviously not having, no preseason games under my belt. Obviously haven't played since last season, but I've been trying to, stay in, well-conditioned, treadmill, bike. When I got cleared to, start going in practice, not, asking for no breaks. Just really that stuff. Then focusing on my body and recovery and stuff. Obviously, with no preseason, games and stuff, I expect, some soreness, but that's what I've been locked in the most, so I think I'll be fine.
You've been a coach on and off the floor for a long time, but particularly this preseason and training camp, I've seen you take that to a different level. You got a lot of new guys coming in, first and second year players. What has been your message to them to sort of acclimate them to what the Grizzlies are expecting?
Really just patience and confidence. I feel like right now we all learning, a lot of new things. I've been around, but I'm still learning. So if I'm not afraid to ask questions, the coach and stuff, they shouldn't be as well, or even to ask, me questions. So just being very vocal, helping them out, making sure, they stay in the right mindset mentally, playing with a lot of confidence and positivity, having fun, and just don't, put too much pressure on, messing up or anything. Because, with this team and, our coaching staff, they believe in us all 100%, and they allow us to, go be us on the floor. So it shouldn't be, no signs of that.
All right, I'll get you out of here on this one. This is the first time in 4 years that you and Jaren Jackson Jr. will have a season opener together to go into the season for various reasons. We won't get into the various reasons.
My bad, y'all.
But what is your message to Memphis Grizzlies fans who's going to pack this building tonight and get you guys going for the rest of the season?
Come in with a lot of energy. We definitely, going to bring the energy and try to protect home floor for y'all. Wishing for, a special season, a healthy season for not only the, the players, but, for y'all as well. So, y'all still can come up and show out for us.
All right, it's year 7 for Big 12.
Bringing that Coke butter cheese. Shout out my boy Sid, man.
There we go. Big 12 for Big 12 is Michael Wallace. Keep it locked on all of our Grizzlies content.
That looks like a man who's excited to be back in the lineup with Jaren Jackson to start the year. Didn't realize it's been that long since you've had the two of them together. Fantastic stuff from Ja Morant. Michael Wallace, we appreciate you. Told you this man is a hard worker. Now on to our starting 5, the top 5 storylines surrounding the Memphis Grizzlies, who open, as we said, their 25th season in Memphis tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Michael's got the latest for us from shoot-around. He had Ja. He's also got audio from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Jalen Wells, and the Pelicans' Sadiq Bey. Let's take a listen.
It's always the goal. We all want to start the season healthy, with everybody back. But unfortunately, that's not there. But like you said, we do have majority of everybody, and we're just gonna go out there and do what we've been practicing. We've been practicing so hard. I think it's time for us just to go out there and show what we've been putting in.
Just feeling a little bit more in control. Last year I was going in kind of blindly, so just having a defined role and knowing what to expect and having higher expectations.
Do you feel more of a so you're second-year guy, but as I told you the other night, Coach said he doesn't look at you as a young guy anymore. Do you feel that sort of leadership taking on?
Yeah, he called me an older guy yesterday. He's like, younger guys, you got some more older guys, you guys are done. I'm like, what is that? But I enjoy it. I feel like I definitely got a lot of experience, more experience. Maybe some other rookies. Being able to start so many games. So definitely appreciative of that, and ready to apply that to this year.
What stands out to you about Memphis? Just seeing them over the years and what they like to do.
They play hard, gritty, tough place to play. Great fans, and they play hard. So it's gonna be a good challenge for us to start off the season.
When you look at players like Ja and Jaren, what's the key to limiting those guys?
Continue just to be physical. The talented guys. So we gotta just trust our coaching staff, trust our defensive scheme, and just try the best we can.
Certainly great news that you're going to have Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the lineup tonight. But, Michael, since we last talked last week, there has been more injury news, obviously, with Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen Jr. So talk about it. It's great to have the two pillars there, but how banged up is this Grizzlies team going into tonight's game?
Well, Jason, before I get to that, right, the last time Stephanie Reddy was on the screen, she asked about her T-shirt, her gear, right? So I just want to show this.
You work fast.
Not only does we have her shirt, but I got the package that it's going to come in right here ready, too. So she got the shirt.
Stephanie, you
and
are
the
taking
FedEx
care
package
of.
right there. So listen, this is how we do.
FedEx
You know what I mean?
and the Guru teaming up.
And I already got her size. I know what she needs, and I'm going to take care of it. So now,
Appreciate you.
absolutely.
So you do it all.
absolutely.
You literally do it all.
Hey, listen,
That's
I'm
why
everywhere.
he is the
I'm everywhere.
guru, you guys.
I'm on the court. I'm in the
unbelievable.
scrums, and I'm right here at the same time.
I'm in
But
all, brother.
It's all good, man. Listen, yes, the injury issues is hampering both of these teams, right? We talked about the Grizzlies. You won't have 5 guys out there tonight. Brandon Clark. You won't have Zach Edey, obviously. Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen, and Vince Williams Jr. are all ruled out of tonight's game. And on the Pelicans side, they're not going to have one of their frontline key pieces that they got this offseason as well. And Kevon Looney, he did some conditioning on the side of the court doing shoot-around as well. But who was on the court? For the Grizzlies, Ja Morant and
Yes,
Jaren
sir.
Jackson Jr. Who was on the court for the Pelicans? Zion Williamson, shooting free throws and getting ready for tonight's game. So you're going to get the frontline guys for both of these teams for the most part, and it's going to be intriguing. We're going to see both of these teams are trying to find their way from the bottom of projection-wise of that Southwest Division, and we'll see if they can factor into the West. The Pelicans are hoping to make the playoffs or to play in. The Grizzlies are certainly expecting to because they have Ja and Jaren available starting tonight.
Is Zion all svelte and pretty like you, or is he?
Zion looks like he's in great shape, Jarvis.
It's
Like
incredible body.
he really put in the work this offseason to come back. He had to. He's looking at a contract. He's also looking at a new front office with Joe Dumars now running that organization. So they have to make a decision whether he's there for long term. He has to make a decision whether he wants to be and what his career is going to be like from here. So we'll see, man. We're going to get into Ja and Zion later on in the show, but that's pretty much the starting five, number one issue going into tonight's game, the latest from both teams.
Great stuff from Michael Wallace. I want to bring everybody in on this second starting five question. With Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen Jr. out, and you talked about Brandon Clark, no Zach Edey, Vince Williams. Now, I mean, we had talked about the front court being short. Are you more concerned, injury-wise, this is for everybody, with the guards now or with the bigs? Stephanie, let's start with you.
I'm going with the bigs. And I know that they are projected to return sooner in terms of when the season is underway, but I just feel like they're so impactful. I mean, you're talking about rebounding and rim protection on a team that has not been full strength, has a new coach. I know that, in terms of starting the season in Iisalo, trying to develop a culture. And I think the bigs are going to play a big part in that. I think Brandon Clark and Zach Edey are needed. I think that they allow Jaren Jackson Jr. to be who he is truly, right? He is the type of defender who does provide rim protection, but on a roaming basis. So if he has Zach Edey with him in the paint, he can do a lot more damage defensively. So I think the bigs are going to be missed the most.
3 points. Michael, where are you at on this? Guards or bigs?
I'm going to go guards. And not because I disagree with, everything Stephanie laid out, and she did a remarkable job doing that. I'm going to go guards because those are the guys that are going to be the front line of what you're trying to do. They're going to be the pace setters. They're going to be the guys that you have to be on the first line of defense. And when the Grizzlies go from a Ja Morant, who's an all-NBA talent caliber player, to now you got to skip over Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen, and you get to a Javon Small and a Cam Spencer. That's a big drop-off initially in terms of what you're expecting, in terms of what these guys have been able to prove they can do. There's an opportunity there, but I think the guards are more concerning right now.
Jarvis, which group are you more concerned about injury-wise, guards or bigs?
I got to go with the guards. I mean, Ja, is the point guard, but you only got two true point guards on the roster right now. Javon Small is the other. Javon Small, although he did look good in the last two preseason games, he's still a rookie. And, he's on a two-way contract. Good he's there. It was a good thing that they picked him up. But, he's going to need that seasoning, and he's going to get it right away in his career. Fortunately, the first few games are, as they say, not quite as the meat grinder as you're going to face a little bit later on. But, Cam Spencer is not he's not a one. He's a two. And when they pressured him in summer league, he's not athletic enough to get around it, doesn't have the length to throw over people. So you need the guard. And if what is that, Michael? Injury hardship, maybe?
Yes, injury exception.
If Campaign is still out there, maybe you can get him back home, who went to Lausanne, won a state championship, was a starter and a rotation player in the NBA for several years. It would be great if they could pick someone up like him to tide Memphis over until the regular guys get back.
I will say of the two groups, Javon Small is just a Ja Morant injury away from being the starter. And if Ja had not been available to go, you likely would have seen Javon Small in that spot. That's a tough spot all of a sudden for that guard rotation. Stephanie, you're next. This contract extension deadline came and went on Monday. There was no news, obviously, of an agreement between Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. Significant? Ja does have 3 more years on his contract.
That was my initial point. I was going to say that. In terms of whether it's a big deal or not, it's definitely not a big deal. I'm not at all worried about it. It's not just the length of time, but it's all of those same arguments that I used in a previous show when we were talking about whether they were going to get this extension done in October. I believed he would because of the fact that his family has that new firm, that he's switched representation and all of those things. I still believe that all to be true. I think there is no sense of urgency because he is under contract through that 27-28 season. That's a lot of time. I think the organization is very reasonable to expect to see what he does this season because he has missed a lot of basketball over the last couple of seasons for various reasons. And they want to make sure that he is going to be available and that he will be his superstar self.
I don't know about you guys, but I love a good hype video. Maybe it's just the Memphis in me. And I'm told we have an early look at the Grizzlies season open video. Let's take a look.
An off season of work, a renewed focus has led to this. 2 franchise pillars.
Time flies like that. We've been here our whole career, so there's plenty to embrace with that. You have a responsibility to everybody here. I understand what that means.
Veteran reinforcements.
Just run with me.
Young bloods.
We got here by being dogs, by being guys that weren't afraid to put the work in.
And a group ready to fight for every inch.
Wells goes to the floor. Shot with a block. Spencer.
All coming together with a new brand of music.
Man, play hard, man. Let's go, man. Hands in, man. Speed kills.
The Grizzlies out in numbers.
Great change of pace.
Their attack mode mentality. Absolute blur. Oh, yes!
It's a new season in Memphis. What was once young is now here. What was once in the mud is now fast. The time for talking is over. Let's get to work. Desire House.
Wow.
Shout out to Moneybag Yo there for the narration.
Yeah, man.
Fantastic job there. Jarvis, you're a guy that's seen it all in Memphis sports over the last, 40, 50 years. What are you most excited about? I know I got a little goosebumps from the hype video in terms of this upcoming season.
What am I most excited about? I'm seeing Ja play.
Amen.
See, that last shot where the ball comes into Ja's hands, oh, man, because anytime he gets the ball, there's that air of excitement. You don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen, and you will come out of your seat. You're almost guaranteed every single night. 41 nights, however many games he plays here at FedEx Forum, you could see something that will make your jaw quote unquote drop. And that's the main thing. He's one of the best players in the world. Box office all around the world. Showed it when he went to China. And we saw it when we went to the Olympics in Paris. Ja Morant jerseys everywhere. That dude is him when it comes to excitement and creativity. And he's not a selfish guy either. He's a team player. He'll get the ball to whoever needs it whenever he can. And that's why I think, whenever he's on the court, the Grizzlies have a great chance of winning the game.
Well said, and especially those words. You may see something you've never seen before.
That's correct.
With Ja Morant. Now on to our final starting 5 questions, one for the entire group. How should Thomas Iisalo be graded this year in year 1? Stephanie, we'll start it with you.
All right. I think Iisalo should be graded on defense, pace, culture, and the intangibles. I think that that's the only fair way to do it because he doesn't even know what he's going to have. We don't know who will be available and when they will be available, but there are certain things that you can expect from a team. These are things that don't require skill or talent, right? They don't require ability. They require effort, rebounding, defense, how fastly you get the ball up the floor, your pace of play, all of those things anybody can do to execute. I think that's going to be really important. I think all of those things will help him set the culture, which will be the building blocks for what they do in years to come. When you take a look at what OKC did that first year when they had a new coach, what they focused on was defense. You have to figure out how you can stop the ball and how you can do it as a team, and then you build from there. I think that's the recipe.
Michael, in your mind, what does a successful season year 1 for Iisalo look like?
I go back to the Moneybag Yo hype video, right? The narration, and Jarvis Jarvis can come to any Grizzlies game he wants on a credential. He chooses to be a season ticket holder, right? So he's been doing this from day one.
Respect.
So those are the fans that are going to be important in terms of being in that building tonight. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost. What Iisalo needs to be judged on, and let me be really clear. If you have Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. upright in sneakers with their uniform on. It doesn't matter who the coach is. You have to get this team into the playoff mix. Right. No question about it. Now, the other guys, the veterans and role players, they have to be able to produce and perform because you can't put it all on Ja and Jaren. But if they're available, Iisalo will be judged based on how he engineers these guys and get them to their almost max level players. You got 2 of them. You got to see these guys in the postseason.
Jarvis, how are you grading Iisalo this year?
I'm going to have to say on a curve. Anytime you got this many players out, and a lot of these guys on rotation at the start of the season, whatever you planned on doing, you can say, hey, yeah, I got this great plan. I was like, what, Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. Well, they've been hit in the mouth with the injury bug again. I don't think anybody's had this many players out at the start as we have, as the Grizzlies have. Of course, I got my Grizz on, but the thing is, I've seen a lot of teams that have players out and even stars out until like Christmas or even January that they get healthy and they make runs at the end of the season. When everybody gets back in and they're out there, sneakers laced up, ready to go, this building should be rocking if Iisalo has his scheme intact and everybody knows what to do.
Michael mentioned Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously had a big offseason, signing that 5-year maximum renegotiation and extension. Starting next season, Michael knows this, he's going to be among the highest paid bigs in the NBA. With that in mind, let's do a little 24-second shot clock validation, where each of our panelists will have 24 seconds to deliver their best take on the question. This one, what should be expected now of Jaren Jackson Jr. in year 8, armed with the big money? Stephanie, you start us off.
Jaren Jackson Jr. should be expected to be an all-star this season. He has been very productive on both sides of the ball. I think this year will be no exception. I think because if he has all of his teammates healthy, as I mentioned earlier, he's free to roam defensively. He's free to facilitate offensively. I expect him to be a 20.7 rebound, 1 steal, 2 block kind of player. I think he will help set the culture for this team. They have to have everything in order in time.
Right after the break, Stephanie, fantastic job. Don't let the buzzer throw you off there. You did a great job. Michael, you're up next. Let's put 24 on the clock. He is the guru after all. Let's go. Michael Wallace, it's on you.
Hey, listen, I'm going to take my first 3 seconds to say, don't give Stephanie credit. That was after the buzzer, clearly.
It's all right. First time.
Now, we're not going to give her the benefit of the doubt, just like we're not going to give Jaren Jackson Jr. the benefit of the doubt. It's year 8. You got to produce, man, and it has to start by being that anchor. You got to be one of the top 5 to 10 best big men that we have in this league. You're getting paid like it. You have the talent to do it, and it's time to get it done starting in the season opener tonight.
I could not agree more.
Was that tonight on there? Was that right on the line? We got to get the camera out and see if that's right there.
I couldn't agree more with the sentiment, though. It is time to man up for Jaren Jackson Jr. Jarvis, you're a vet at this as well. 24 on the clock for you. Go.
Well, first of all, I want to say, hey, look at that, the round clock there, just like the Tissot clocks they have over the scoreboards in FedEx Forum and around the league. They look good. My answer is simple. NBA all-defensive team. You got to make that. Defensive player of the year is a possibility. We'll see how he works out when Zach Edey gets back. He's usually best when he's got another big there with him. I'm going to say NBA all-defense, and that's my answer.
And what? And one.
We didn't get the and at the end. We were kind of waiting.
You didn't even have to use the and.
Well, I just want to leave y'all hanging a little. It's a cliffhanger.
We'll give this one to Michael Wallace. Stephanie, I thought you were right there. Jarvis, we're still waiting on the and. Maybe you can tell us next week what it's going to be.
Defensive Player of the Year possibility. I already said it, so why should I say it again?
There you go. Coming up after break.
I don't have to repeat myself.
Now you are a Hall of Famer, so when the man tells me he doesn't need to repeat himself, I'm gonna defer to him. Coming up after the break, we'll put the confidence meter on our panel and ask him this: can Ja Morant have the takeoff year in 2025 that he's told Nike he expects to have in the face of some odds makers and experts' predictions that the Grizzlies as a team will finish a little lower than expectations? Can he do that? We'll do that and some Call Your Shot. Keep it locked. This is Grizz Beat on Grind City Media.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for? That boy is
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dome Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dome Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Is it weird that you're going to be like one of the elder statesmen on that team?
The kids think I'm older than I am. They think I'm like 30, and I'm like 24. So it's humbling. It's not great when you have a kid that just got here and they don't believe when you tell them you're 24. But I guess it helps because maybe they respect you more. I don't know.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The Grizzlies tip off their 25th season in Memphis tonight at 7 p.m. against the New Orleans Pelicans, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners. Arrive early as the first 5,000 fans in attendance will receive a Grizzlies 25th anniversary t-shirt designed by Good Hippie. It's a sharp shirt. To purchase your tickets, go to grizzlies.com/tickets today. Again, that's grizzlies.com/tickets. Now listen, you guys each got 24 seconds to say your piece on Jaren Jackson Jr. And listen, I don't want to be on the shot clock validation timer. I'm not a vet. I probably mess up. But if you don't mind, I would like to say I am so with Michael Wallace on what the expectation should be for Jaren Jackson Jr. entering year 8 now. You're about to be paid $49 million in a year from now. That's right up there with some of the best bigs in the leagues. And so for all the grief we've given some of the other bigs in the league, the Karl Anthony Towns and those guys, as great a defensive unicorn as Jaren Jackson is, I just think it's time, specifically from that rebounding position. You can't average fewer than 6 rebounds for 3 straight years. And so hopefully we'll see a Jaren Jackson. He's got the body to do it. He's got the athleticism to do it. Let's go ahead and be one of the bigs in the league in terms of rebounding as well. Adding that part, that facet to his game will put him right up there with the best. Time now, as we said, to put the confidence meter on our panelists, our weekly check-in on 3 key topics. Now, Ja Morant told Nike for his shoe campaign that he expects 2025 to be his takeoff year. To our entire panel, how confident are you that Ja can have a career year in a season that odds makers and, like we said, many experts have predicted the Grizzlies will take a step back? Stephanie, we'll start with you.
I am very confident that Ja Morant will have a breakout season. I think that the wins and losses will be irrelevant to this specific topic. I think Ja is primed to have a breakout season. You look at the last 2 seasons, he's only played 59 games combined in those 2 years. He has no choice but to have a breakout season. I think he is an all-star player. He will be a superstar this season, and we're going to see a show this year.
All right. She's highly confident. Michael, how about you?
I'm confident. And the reason why I'm just confident is because I have to see it to believe it. I know what kind of talent Ja Morant is. I know the work that he puts in. Even tonight, he sprained the ankle early late in training camp, missed the preseason. He's going to make adjustments. He's going to wear an ankle brace. That's something that he hasn't always been willing to do. Okay. He's steeled his body up a lot more. So he's making some of these adjustments. I'm confident that he's going to have a breakthrough year, but I got to see it to believe it to be very confident.
You're more concerned about the availability than the supporting cast and whether he's got enough.
Right. He's got to prove that he's available, as Stephanie alluded to.
Jarvis, where you at?
I'm going to say, confident. Keep it right there. Confident. Why do I say confident, guys? Because I think the number of games played, which goes along to the health issue. I think his body is maturing now. He's been in the weight room at 26 years old. He's got all of his man muscles ready to go. And the only thing I think that could take him out right now for a significant time, because anybody can sprain an ankle and miss a game or 2. I don't count that. But the only thing that could really hurt him would be a Dort situation where he gets taken out of the air in flight on a flagrant or something other like that. So I'm going to say I'm confident, and I think he has got the ability to do it. I think he more than ever has the will to do it now.
A couple of weeks ago, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but the Grizzlies right now might be more reliant on rookie point guard Javon Small, like we talked about and touched on, then they will be the number 11 pick in the draft. And Cedric Howard, we already talked about. Javon Small is going to be backing up Ja Morant tonight. What's your confidence level in Javon Small holding down this important role? Heck, if Ja Morant hadn't been ready to go tonight, he's the starter. Stephanie, we'll start with you on the rookie Javon Small.
I feel confident that Small will hold down a key rotation role. Not very confident, only because he's a rookie. And everybody knows your rookie season, you don't know what's going to happen. There could be ups and downs. He could hit a wall. Also, he would be reliant on other things to have that role. As you mentioned, if Ja's injured or if someone else goes down, then he'll have more minutes. But if everyone stays perfectly healthy, it's going to be a lot harder for him to break into the rotation.
Was a different position, but Jalen Wells feels like was thrown into the fire last year as well, that Javon Small feels like he's going to be thrown into now. What's your confidence level that he can hold it down?
Which is why I'm very confident that he can hold it down. I don't think what he did in the last 2 preseason games was a fluke. You know why? Because he did that same thing. The three or four guys he faced in the preseason, Derek White, a champion, right? You're talking about it's different guys, but Melo Ball.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Melo Ball was another guy he faced in that situation. So Trae Young was another guy he faced. These are frontline star players that he did well against. When I see a guy go for double figures in scoring, 5 assists and 0 turnovers in a game, in a preseason game against other frontline guys, I'm confident. I'm very confident that he'll get a chance to hold on to it. He might not be the first point guard off. They might try to scramble the lineup, but he will definitely prove that he's worth it.
Jarvis, where are you at on Javon Small, your confidence level?
Well, I'm going to go very confident.
Like Michael?
Very confident like Michael. I say, he came up out of the Big 12. He was one of their top players in that league, which was the best basketball league in the country as far as college basketball is concerned. Yes, this is not college. This is a whole nother level, as they say. But what I saw in the preseason, he doesn't get, even when he got beat, he didn't hold his head and mope. He came right back after it. He's got the body. He's got a 42-inch vertical. He looks like a tailback out there as far as strength and ability, and I think he's got the mindset to be able to take when things go wrong, to be able to learn and be back in the gym, back in the lab, and figure it out and get it right. And I think he'll have kind of an ascension like Scottie Pippen Jr. had when he came on to the Grizzlies last season. Unfortunately, Scottie's out right now, but he's got to learn, so he has to be, right?
Yeah, no question about it. I remember back in 2019 watching the NBA draft with my son, and obviously the Grizzlies moving up to 2, getting a chance to select Ja Morant. Number 1 goes Zion Williamson, 2 guys that'll be on the floor tonight. I think back then, guys, we thought that this rivalry would just naturally bloom between the 2 organizations, between Ja, between Zion, and it just hasn't come to pass. It has not materialized for a bunch of different reasons. I'm just curious here, while we've got you on the confidence meter, Stephanie, your confidence that the Grizzlies and Pelicans, once 2 young organizations that had new faces of franchise, will ever truly be a rivalry?
I am not confident. I can't even say that strongly enough. And to illustrate my point, I'm going to read something to you. I wrote this down. The definition of the word rivalry: competition for the same objective or for superiority in the same field. Well, the Pelicans are out of that right now. They're not running for superiority in any field. They're just trying to get healthy and get on the floor. They are not expected to win a lot of games. I think that has a lot to do with a rivalry. If you're 2 teams that are battling for division championships, NBA championships, conference championships, something, win-loss record, then you can talk about a rivalry. I think the Pels have bowed out of that conversation.
Michael, I'm with Stephanie, and my old definition of rivalry, she laid it all out, but you had to meet in the playoffs, too. Like, these things had to happen in the playoffs. Where are you on whether this will ever come to fruition?
I'm agree with both. You both then, Stephanie and you, Jason, because the reason why is that we're 7 years in now, right? These guys were drafted 1-2 7 years ago. There's another whole 6 years worth of 1-2s and lottery picks that can create rivalries that these guys missed on, right? Because of injuries, because of issues and all of those kind of things. The Pelicans have been unstable as an organization, but the nature of a rivalry also is that proximity. These 2 teams will always have that proximity, and as long as Ja and Zion are there, they will have that connection because they're both South Carolina guys. But at the end of the day, from a competitive level, I'm not confident this will ever be the rivalry that we anticipated.
Jarvis, you any more confident than these two?
I am going to say confident.
Oh.
Why do I say confident? Well, the Pels have been a thorn in the Grizzlies' side for some time now. You know, I think they won on an MLK Day here, and they've won some games when they were shorthanded, and they still beat the Grizzlies. And my wife and I made a trip down there a couple of years ago, and there was the building was full to see Ja, and the building when Zion comes here when he's healthy, everybody wants to see him play. In the strict lettering of the question, people, it says, will this become a rivalry? It didn't say just this year. It says, will.
No, you're right.
I will agree with Michael. It is close proximity. It doesn't take that long to get down to New Orleans. It's a great trip down there. As a lot of Memphis fans love to go to New Orleans, as we know, the Big Easy. And there are some Pels fans that come up here. It's a good trip for them to come up and get away and see what Mempho has to offer. So I will say I'm confident that it will at some point become that rivalry that we all think it should be.
It'd be nice
running out of time because their rotation, their rosters have changed too, man.
Dramatically.
Like, I mean, since then. So there's some key guys. Desmond Bane is no longer part of this situation.
That's true.
And
That's
rivalries
they really don't happen when you start meeting in the playoffs, and that's
which goes
that's
back
the whole
to Stephanie's
thing.
point.
Well, and the Pelicans gave up a huge asset to the Hawks in bringing over Queen. So weirdly, it seems like they're all in a way. Don't certainly have the flexibility with assets that the Grizzlies have. Now let's take a look at the Grizzlies' upcoming schedule. They've got a 3-game homestand, obviously, to start the season. It includes the first of 14 back-to-backs this season. Tonight, they'll take on New Orleans, obviously. On Friday, on October 24th, it'll be the Miami Heat, who the Grizzlies just beat to get that one win in the preseason. Then on Saturday, as we said, it's the first of 14 back-to-backs. They've got the Pacers to wrap up that 3-game homestand before the Grizzlies hit the road for 3 of their next 4, starting with that Monday game against the Warriors. Panel, I want you to call your shot. One bold prediction for the Grizzlies this season now that we've made it to opening night. Stephanie, you have the honors.
The Grizzlies will make the playoffs. And I don't mean play in. I mean the actual playoffs. When you look at how they finished last year, they were right there, right? They finished 8th. And you look at the teams ahead of them and what's happening this season, I feel very good about it. I think if they can stay healthy, that's always going to be the caveat, right? Availability has to happen. But if you've got Jaren and you've got Ja healthy, there's no reason why they shouldn't be in. I mean, Michael, you said it earlier, right? These are 2 superstars, 2 all-stars, a defensive player of the year. This should happen for them. That's my prediction.
Michael, your bold prediction for the season.
Another major trade will be made. And it's because I think you don't relax on this timeline. I've said it before on this show. I've said it before in our Grind City Media content. The Grizzlies are opening this season equally right now on 2 different trajectories. They have Ja and Jaren and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, veterans, mid-career guys that they can easily pivot, add another player to that to see how far they can take it. And then they have the young guys, right? The Cowards, the Javon Smalls, the Zach Edey's, the Jalen Wells. And you got 2 more first-round draft picks coming next year. So if this doesn't go well, you're either going to make a bold trade to go all in and rebuild with these young guys, or you're going to make a bold trade and say, you know what, let me sacrifice some of this youth and these assets to go the other way and really give Jaren and Ja a real shot to get the next step.
All right, so maybe it looks a little different soon. Jarvis, your bold prediction for the season.
Well, I will say the Grizzlies will make the play-in. They'll snag a 7 seed. They were the 8th seed last year. I think they'll get a 7 seed. Now, that's a bump up, I think, because I think the talent around Jaren and Ja is good if they can get them on the court. And like I said earlier, once these guys get healthy, like they're hurting now, they may take some bumps and bruises, but we've seen this team huddle around, other than last year, we've seen this team huddle around the 500 mark almost through December, and then all of a sudden take off. Last year was kind of, they went off fast and then fell off at the bottom. So I think we will see this team kind of muddle around here while everybody's out getting on the mend, and then when everybody's healthy, boom, open up the roof. We got to put a hole in the roof like old Texas Stadium, because the eye of the NBA and the world will be right here on Memphis, Tennessee, and FedEx Forum, watching the Grizzlies roll over the competition.
You'd think at some point luck would just go the Grizzlies' way when it comes to injuries. Seems like they've been so snake-bitten with them in the past. So I hope you're right. When we come back, we'll take a look at Michael Wallace's top 10 NBA team rankings as we start the season. We'll also take a spin around the league with the top dunk, dime, and defensive play from last night, opening night in the NBA. NBA. All that and more when we get back. This is Grizz Beat on Grind City Media.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Jeff Dunham, artificial intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
This is still a bad team and a bad franchise. What are they doing to try and get better?
This is not a team that is looking for a playoff run, although somebody, I heard on local Nashville radio, somebody called in and said they got an email Monday letting them know you can get playoff tickets to the Titans. Yeah.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Just walking through FedEx Forum, what's that been like for you?
To be back here knowing that this is going to help St. Jude, it's going to recognize Fred Smith.
Yeah.
Come on now, what he did as an individual. It's going to highlight the city and that what this great place is. There's not many cities like Memphis.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation, turn up at FedEx Forum as the Grizzlies tip off their 25th season in Memphis with a 3-game homestand. To celebrate, fans can take advantage of tickets as low as $25 for the first 3 games of the season. As we mentioned, against the Pelicans, the Heat, and the Pacers. But you'll want to hustle as inventory is limited. Visit grizzlies.com/tickets today before this anniversary deal runs out. Welcome back to Grizz Beat. Now to the highlights. Eager to do this, our best dunk, dime, and defensive play, where each week our panel is going to vote on the best highlights. This week, it's highlights. We're judging from the best of opening night last night. You had Rockets and Thunder, Warriors and Lakers. We start with the 2 best dunks.
Wiggins to the basket with strength. Another one.
Kuminga up the floor quickly. Lob it up with Butler soaring through the air.
You see right after. This one looks like it might be an easy one for me. Jarvis, you're at the top. You start us off.
Definitely OKC. I mean, that's a facial. They're driving down the lane, in your face, down to the bottom, flush the toilet, watch it go down the bowl. That was a total power move, and the other one was just, hey, a simple oop. So that dunk number 1 is it for Jarvo.
And that ended up being a heck of a game, obviously, between the Rockets
and they ended up winning by a
heck
point.
of a dunk, heck of a game. Stephanie, what say you?
I totally agree. First one by far. I mean, you're talking about in the teeth of the defense, in the middle of it. There are defenders there. You can look when you show the replay. Look at all those red jerseys. He didn't care. Straight to the rim. That gets my vote.
There you go.
I'm going to go hater. I'm going to go haterade on this one, right? And here's the reason I'm going to go hater on that one.
Some explaining to do.
Aaron Wiggins is one of my favorite players in the NBA. I love that guy as a role player. He's destined to be a starter and a star on another team. He's just on the bench for OKC. But here's why I love what the Golden State Warriors did. Do you know how old Jimmy Butler is? He's 35 years old. And to be able to get up like that with a 2-hand yammy in transition on the road to beat the Lakers on a season opener, Jimmy ready to play. Jimmy ready to play. So I'm going to give it to Jimmy on that for age-appropriate reasons.
You must owe Jimmy some money. You
must
owe Jimmy. Jimmy can dunk. Jimmy always been an athlete.
Look like we missed LeBron. Looks like we missed LeBron James last night. If that's the best dunk that we, if that's the second best dunk we had last night, no, I'm going with the OKC dunk on that one. Now on to best dime. Eager to see these from last night. Who we got?
Gotta get involved. Has not been aggressive. Neither has Doncic here in his third.
Backdoors.
Thunder back the other way. Pitch in the corner. Mitchell. There you go.
Those Draymond backdoors are classics at this point. Jarvis, we'll start with you. Which one's better?
I am not a Draymond fan, but I can't be a Draymond hater on this one. Draymond and Steph been together forever. He knows those moves. He's always been able to make, be a point forward, basically, for the Warriors, and that's just total. It's hard to do that. That's just a look of an eye, a blink, a wink, or something or other. You get your guy leaning the wrong way, and Steph knows how to cut, so I'm going to have to go with number one. I think Harris over there saw his man from the beginning and knew he was there, wide open in the corner. There was nobody around him at all, so that was kind of a somewhat easy assist.
Stephanie, is the Memphis Sports Hall of Famer Jarvis Greer correct?
He is. He's having a great day today. He is exactly right. All the things he said, all the reasons why, because it's a traditional play, right? The backdoor cut, but it's who's doing it and how they're doing it. And we all know that it's going to happen because Steph Curry never stops running, but they still find success and execute it. I think it's beautiful every time.
All right. Michael?
Wrong.
You're going to take
the right?
No.
Last time I checked, 3 is more than 2. Right?
Yes.
The three-pointer, this is today's NBA game. Attack the paint, spray it to the corner, splash the 3. And I'm going to give him a little bit more credit because that man's name is Wallace, right? That's my little cousin. So I'm going to give a shout-out to my little cousin for drawing the triple team and then having the wherewithal to get that ball out there to his teammate for a wide-open splash down 3.
Well, that's what we hope we see out of Javon Small tonight, right? Get in there because they're about the same size.
Absolutely.
Javon's a little bit more stout. But
all right, so Michael Wallace says we're all wrong. We'll see if he's right on this next one. I look now at Michael Wallace's top 10 NBA team rankings. Michael, I will hand over the floor to you.
We got defense. We got defense.
Excuse me.
We got defense. See, you never played defense.
No, I was.
That's the reason why. You was an offensive player, man.
And
so this
I heard
is the second show.
You skipping defense.
I know. This is the second time that you skipped defense because you never played defense.
In 6th grade, he was a hawk.
That's it. He just want to shoot the ball.
He was a hawk.
That's it.
All of that is true. I'm sorry to our defensive specialists. Let's get to the 2 defensive highlights. I hate defense.
Shepard. 8 to shoot. Trying to get into Durant tonight by Dort. In the air. Wallace. What a play by.
Outlet pass. Reeves behind the defense. Attack. Oh! Swatted by Payton.
Okay, Jarvis, start us out. You hate Lou Dort, so you're going number 2, right?
Oh, man. I do hate Lou Dort, but that was a tremendous play. This is hard, though, man, because, I'm going to go with Lou Dort. I kind of have to. The pass wasn't quite there. Lou Dort recognized it, and the fact that the game was as tight as it was. The Laker game was a blowout. As a tremendous block. I mean, he climbed the ladder to get up there and knock that one out of the sky. But because the Laker game, and because the Warriors and the Rockets was so tight, and that was near the end of the game. Was that overtime? I couldn't tell right there. It was going down to the last end, as the old folks used to say. I think that was such a great defensive play to keep Kevin Durant from getting into his work zone.
Stephanie, please, you see I need it. Educate me on defense and which one of these 2 plays is the best.
They're both spectacular, but again, I'm going to agree because of what was at stake. Okay, that block was tremendous. It showed great athletic ability, but there was 0 at stake. It was early in the game. Nobody cared what happens then. He had nothing to lose, everything to gain. That other defensive play, everything to lose. The game is literally on the line. It's tied at 122, and he took a calculated risk, and I love it.
Michael, I'm not sure you can go the other way here.
And you know what? I'm not. It's a sweep. It's a sweep. And here's the reason why it's a sweep. This is what puts me over the top. You see who came away with the steal? Wallace. Lou Dort had the deflection. Lou Dort had the deflection.
Get the Wallace highlights out of here.
Lil Cuz had the steal. I think he got credited for the steal, but Dort put a tremendous effort on KD in that situation. So, yes, we'll go with a sweep on this one.
All right, fantastic work there by our panel. Y'all see how excited I clearly was to get to Michael Wallace's top 10. I've been wanting to shoot my shots at him. We're going to do that now. His top 10 NBA team rankings. He's going to have a top 10 list for us every week. Michael, I now hand the floor over to you.
No, it's just about the top 10. Opening night was last night. The rest of the league, 14 games in action today, and I'm going to my top 10 right here of the top 10 contenders in the NBA as we speak going into the season. You see the list right there. Oklahoma City, defending champs. Denver, I think, going in as the team, the one team I'm confident that can take out the defending champs. And then the list goes on from there. Cleveland, the Cavaliers, the Knicks, Timberwolves, Clippers, Rockets, Warriors, Pistons, and Magic. I think the bottom 3 are a little bit shaky, so some other teams can jump up there. But the top 5, I think, are legitimate, and those are the teams that right now, going into the season, are my top contenders in the NBA.
Before I pick at it, Stephanie, you take over here. Who are you calling out on his list? Any issues?
Yeah, for sure. And I think everybody knows because I've been on this show before talking about this team and the reasons why I don't trust them. It's the Clippers. I can't do it. There are too many things going on in that locker room. And I will say this, though. I love Ty Lue. I think he's an amazing coach. I think if anybody could do it under these circumstances, it would be him. I just don't have the faith. So they're out for me.
Stephanie has been anti-Clipper for a long time, right?
Well,
She's
I'm
been
picking up on
anti-Clipper
that.
for a long
I'm picking
time.
up on that.
And I understand that, so I was prepared for this, right? But the thing about it is that with the Clippers, they loaded up on depth right now. What they have with CP3 coming off that bench, what they have with, all of these veterans and all of these bigs that they loaded up on, they're going to be too good and too deep to fail. And I just think that team is going to be legitimate. Next.
So without Kawhi, they're that deep?
They can still get through it. And they're built right now to endure Kawhi being either suspended if he's going to get suspended, which I don't think is going to happen at this point, or if he gets injured or has to be maintained. I think they're built right now because also Bradley Beal is there to take up some of that scoring slack too.
Okay.
So, yes, they have enough. They have enough. We'll see.
Norman Powell should have been an all-star last year. He's out of there now. You telling me Bradley Beal going to do what Norman Powell did last year?
I don't know if he's going to do that, but he can do enough. He's a reasonable replacement if he's motivated.
Gotcha. That's Stephanie's. Jarvis, yours?
So I don't even know if I need to say anything. I mean, after all of that, it's just I'm still saying the Clippers. I agree with Stephanie, and it's what I said before with the whole KD saga.
Yeah.
I mean, not KD, with the whole Kawhi saga. Yeah, got my K's.
Well, you had
right.
a secondary. You had the Rockets too.
Yeah, I had the Rockets because of the no point guard in Van Vliet.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that Reed Shepherd is not ready. He's still not ready yet to run that point. And at some point, that's going to really cripple them. They played a great team last night. They'll still be good enough to win and do some really good things. But to get to that next level, to where they want to be, they're going to need a competent point guard. And with Van Vliet out, that's really going to be tough for them.
All right. So, again, I think what Houston proved last night is that they're still good enough to be in the
And
elite
I wanted
team
to
in this
say,
league.
I was wondering if Michael had any other relatives on the Clippers. That's why he keeps putting them up there. He keeps them up there.
I'll find some.
In that
I'll
depth.
find some.
So somebody down in that depth hole down there that Michael talks about with the Clippers.
I'll find some.
I've wondered, too, if Donovan Mitchell is a member of his family. We know how high he had him in his individual guards rankings. Mine, Michael, is really just a flip-flop of the Knicks and the Cavaliers. Both lost to the same team last year. I would tell you the Cavaliers got punked. They got pushed around, whereas the Knicks had just seemed like a team that had run out of gas. We know Donovan Mitchell has never made a conference finals. Michael, you've said this about the 2 times the Grizzlies got the 2 seed. Hey, that was the regular season. What good did it do for you? What good's being number 1 or having the best record if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers if you're not going to get it done in the playoffs? Knicks earned it. They should be 3.
What did the Knicks earn?
Went further than Cleveland, who has never made a conference finals, or Donovan Mitchell's never made a conference finals.
Okay, all right.
He's got to show that to me. Brunson, it should be ahead of Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks, with what they did last year, obviously came up short at the same team, but in a different way, should be ahead of the Cavaliers.
In Michael's defense, the Cavs were hurt in the postseason.
Man,
thank you, Jarvis.
I don't
even got to say that's it.
Darius Garland has proven
and
nothing
we're not
yet.
related. We have no relation.
And Donovan Mitchell hasn't made the conference finals that Jalen Brunson was in last year. Mr. Clutch, by the way.
Who won 64 games? The Knicks.
Regular season games?
They count.
You just said they didn't matter with the Grizzlies in the 2 years.
No. In terms of contender status, I got you.
Yeah, you got to win the playoffs.
We're only talking about
you
one.
Old school.
We're talking one spot. So, hey, I respect you on that one.
Stephanie, break the tie.
I
respect you.
Break the tie. Break the tie, Steph.
No, she doesn't have to.
Yeah,
There ain't no tie.
That's a tough one, though. But, I'm
He
Knicks.
said
one.
He got on me last week with my Miles Turner reference.
And you came back strong.
I had to come back strong.
Needed that.
I've been studying up. That's why I skipped best defensive players.
Break the tie.
He came back strong.
Just so I could get at Michael there and have a little fun. Next, we'll go around the league, do some predictions, and fill in the blank. I'll make the statement. Our panel will fill in the blank. Our first statement: the sleeper pick for MVP behind SGA and Jokic. I love this question. Jarvis will do it with you. The sleeper pick behind those
Luka. I'm going to say Luka Doncic. LeBron, Father Time, finally catching up with him. He had the shot in his bum. He was sitting on his bum, and he's trying to get all of that worked out. I mean, he's 41 years old. He's got to pass the torch, and he's in a big market, and all the votes are going to go to him anyway. So I'm saying Luka.
Stephanie, your
42 points last night, right?
There you go.
42, and what else?
42, 12, and 9.
Yeah, so
MVP like line.
It's got to be Luka.
Go ahead.
Stephanie, for you, your sleeper pick.
My sleeper pick for MVP is Anthony Edwards. I think that he was all right there on the cusp. He's been top 10 the last couple of years in voting. But I think with wins and his improvement individually, I think he is going to be a strong MVP candidate. We saw last season what happened when he worked on his three-point shooting in the offseason. He came back and had more FGAs and a much higher three-point shooting percentage, nearly 40. I think it was 39.5. And then this past offseason, we've been told he's been working on his post-up game. And I know personally, just because I've talked to him over the years about things that he wants to work on. Defense has been something he knows he can do better because of his athletic ability and his IQ. So I expect that his defense is going to improve this year. And I think his mid-range post-up game is going to improve. And with his already improved three-point shooting and his tremendous athletic ability, if the wins are there, I think he could be MVP.
Love the pick, and I love that Anthony Edwards, just that he's a two-way guy. You usually get it from him on the defensive end as well. Michael, your sleeper pick.
Hey, I'm going to go quick with mine. I'm going to stay with Anthony's, but I'm going to go Davis. And this is because I think if the Dallas Mavericks are going to be what they're expected to be, Cooper Flag is going to be great. Anthony Davis is going to be the two-way sensation that he's still capable of being. He just has to prove he can be healthy until Kyrie gets back. By that time, Dallas could be one of the best defensive teams we have in the league.
All right, our next fill in the blank, the NBA Coach of the Year this season will be Jarvis. We start with you.
I'm easy. Kenny Atkinson with the Cavaliers. I'm saying him. I mean, he had. Well, they were number one in the East last year.
Love some Cavs
and the only thing that hurt them was injuries in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Does that sound familiar, folks? Anybody heard about injuries in the playoffs?
No, sounds familiar.
So I'm going with Kenny Atkinson, Cavs.
All right. Stephanie, your pick here.
I'm going with Mike Brown with the New York Knicks. I think they were right there last year. I think they've got something going. I picked them to go to the finals this season. I think Mike Brown will be Coach of the Year.
I like the pick, Michael.
I'm going to go Tyronn Lue. I'm going back to the Clippers. I'm trolling Stephanie again on this one. We both like Tyronn Lue, though. It's his turn. Yeah. It's his time. And if they're going to be a top 4 contender in the West, it's going to be because he coaches that team to the best of his abilities.
All right. Interesting question here. The team most likely to crash out will be. Michael, we'll start this one with you.
I'm going to go the Bucks. I think this thing can end badly with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's been a very remarkable citizen for Milwaukee, for the league and everything else. But they won the title. And they can't recuperate and recapture what they had. I think that's going to end badly. It already started with Damian Lillard's situation. That was a mistake. Yep. And now I think it ends badly there.
I like that pick. Stephanie, your pick here to crash out.
I'm going with the 76ers because of the way the question was phrased, crash out. We've already seen a little mini one with Joel Embiid making his little sarcastic comments about he's just here and help the other guys. I'm very interested to see how those personalities will respond. Remember, we've got Maxey, who is a superstar, turned himself into it. We have Paul George and Embiid that have to come back to return to their all-star status. And then you got the two younger guys in Grimes and McCain, who had great seasons last year for the 76ers. And can they all be kumbaya? I don't know.
That's a good question. Jarvis, your pick to crash out.
Recurring theme, the Clippers.
Clipper time.
Kawhi, that whole saga. I don't know if the NBA will make any move to cut him, rip him off at the knees when it comes to the trade deadline or anything like that. I'm going to say the Clippers.
And to wrap this week's edition of Grizby, we finish with the pick and roll. You pick one of two options and explain why you're rolling with it. We're bringing it back home with the final question. Who's under more pressure this season, Ja Morant or Zion Williamson? Stephanie, we'll roll with you.
Zion Williamson definitely under pressure. He's played 43% of the games that he has been able to play in the regular season. He's got to be available. He has to perform. This is the season for him.
Stephanie, right? Is it Zion?
It is Zion Williamson. He has played less games than Ja Morant, as Medea would say, period. That's got to be the only answer. It's got to be Zion. He just hasn't been on the court. His weight's been up and down. That's what
I see Michael shaking his head over there.
I'm shaking my head because I think the bar is so low for Zion. So the expectation can't be high. Like, he's going to cross that bar.
He's the number one draft pick.
But I'm just saying, he's almost forgotten about it at this
past
point.
that now.
Ja Morant, the expectation is higher. He's expected to carry his team into the playoffs. That's a lot of a burden for a guy to carry. I think he can do it this year, and we'll see.
I'm with Michael. I think folks are expecting it still of Ja Morant. I don't think that's the case necessarily with Zion. That's our show for this week. Thank you to our panelists, Jarbo, Sane, and Michael Wallace. Thanks as well, Jarbo, Stephanie Reddy, excuse me. Thanks as well to CJ Hart and our wonderful team here at Grind City Media. Make sure you're locked in to Grind City Media at 6 p.m. for the warm-up show. That'll be followed by the FanDuel Sports Network pregame show at 6:30. Tip at 7 on FanDuel Sports Network. It's opening night. Let's get it done for our entire Grizz Beat team. I'm Jason. Keep grinding.
Game day.